So, how was last night? Did you guys get rest? How you feeling?
Good. I mean, we went out, had some dinner. We all had kind of like an hour and a half to kind of like celebrate. Yeah, we made it, and then got some food, and then we all went back to our hotel room. We were talking about draft for a couple hours.
And how are you feeling going into that? Do you have any? Are you pretty much on the same path as, or did you come up with maybe let's try this? Maybe this will work better for us today.
I mean, I think the draft is going to be really interesting today, just as a whole. I'm really excited to see how it progresses throughout the series, just because I feel like picks that are priority game one will definitely fall. Like game 5, like the first picks and bans will be just like wild. So I'm excited to see how it evolves.
Basically, a meta game is going to evolve throughout the series.
Sure. Yeah. And what do you think the metagame of the Final Four has been compared to other tournaments you've been in? Where has the trends been going?
I mean, I think Falstad has been a really big hero, like either first pick or ban for a long time, and I don't think that'll change.
Anything else that's been a little weird besides the Zagara thing, or anything that kind of surprised you about the picks or the play?
It didn't even really surprise us. We knew they were doing that. We have like information on them, but like because we do our research. But I mean, UT Arlington is like known to do weird stuff because they have players from Team Blaze that always do weird stuff. So I mean, we're just prepping for anything and everything really. Anything that we think that they can pull out, we've thought about, we've run through draft with, and we're feeling pretty confident going into the set.
So I saw a statistic on the screen yesterday that said I think it was 4 of the 5 of you said you were the best player on the team. So who's your MVP for the finals? Who's gonna get the most kills? Who's gonna
That's
perform?
Aka's
It's gonna be
MVP.
Aka's
Aka's MVP.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool.
Who was the one person that didn't say they were the best player?
I mean,
Well, it was me. Who'd you choose? Snickers?
Oh no, I prefer not to say.
hey, Snickers, you should say it.
I said shot.
Hey.
Good for you. That's 2 votes.
I know, that means I'm the best.
That means you're the winner.
Yeah. She took my drink.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I'm wondering if there was a moment in any of your careers in esports where you realized this is something that I have a future in and decided to take that leap.
I think that was I think for me that was last year's Heroes of the Dorm being on that stage, and even though we lost, it was still like, I'm really glad that it happened to me, so I think that's what skyrocketed it for me. Nothing in particular for me really.
I think this year's Heroes of the Dorm for me, just because last year I was kind of an unknown, like an underdog, and this year I feel like we're a lot more well known. So I guess that'd be more of like, I see a future because it's like we're kind of like the top team of the Heroes of the Dorm that like people have been watching. Does that make sense? Like people have always like on the 2 sides of the brackets, they're like us and UT Arlington, like they're gonna meet in the finals. So I guess being like more well known and like being like hyped up the whole time, I think kind of made me like know that like I solidified a spot in the collegiate scene.
I mean, I saw a future in esports ever since I started. I was just really good at games, and I told my family I wanted to take a break from college to focus on it, and then I went back to college. I just wanted to transition slowly into esports. So I did my transition, and then I came back to college and continued esports while doing it. I mean, I just had a slow start, but then I had a lot of success, and I continued to keep having success. I made a bunch of friends like these guys, and I mean, now I'm here, and I've been to a couple LAN tournaments, and I love it so much, and every time I go to a LAN tournament, like, it reconfirms that my hopes and dreams could be a reality.
This is kind of related to that, actually. Each of you down the line, what has been the best part of this entire experience for you? Is it winning? Is it the recognition? Is it feeling yourself grow as a player, etc.?
For me, it's the people you meet. For me, I'm gonna say it's winning as a team. Honestly, like for this tournament, I want to win for myself, but I also want to win for my team because I really love these guys. So.
I think I've grown a lot as a player, like drafting and shot calling. I think I'll be a lot better pro player after this experience.
Coming into, like, I didn't answer the last question because I had no prior pro aspirations or anything like that. And esports has kind of just been something I never thought I would be in. So the surprising thing for me is definitely knowing these guys. It was like initially trying out and then making it to the team, like, who are these guys? I don't know these dudes. And then like we talked in Skype and they're kind of cool. And then we meet in person and we're just like bros for life.
My favorite part about this event is just the validation to myself that I belong here and I've earned it with my team. It's not just me, it's my team. We've all earned it, but it's a really good feeling to acknowledge yourself that, yeah, I belong to be here. I deserve this.
So one of the hardest parts, I think, for me personally, and I think for a lot of people of transitioning into college is directionlessness and not knowing who you are, where you're going, what's going to happen, what you want. Do you think esports and this whole experience has solidified your direction in life in a way?
So my parents didn't want me to play games when I was little, and because they thought it was a waste of time. But I think now it's getting to, like, especially with video games, how they had it had a bad connotation of playing video games was not a good way to spend time, and now it's being shown that it could be. I lost my train of thought.
That's right.
Can you repeat the question?
Has esports and the esports experience given you a solid direction in life
Oh, yeah.
in some way?
It shows that, like, if you're passionate about, if something's really fun to you and you actually dedicate yourself to it, like, no matter what it is, you can almost go anywhere with it. So this proves that.
I mean, for me personally, I don't know. I was actually, so we'll go a little bit into backstory about me. So I was raised LDS, which is like Mormon. I have a lot of respect for the religion, but I actually left it like my senior year of high school. And I don't know how much you guys know about the LDS faith, but they go on like 2-year missions right after high school. So I was kind of left with like this 2-year, like 18 to 20 year where it's like, what do I do with my life? Because like growing up, always thought I'd be on a mission. And for me, it's been really cool to have esports kind of fill that void. Like that's what I have been doing in place of the mission. And like I've loved this experience and it's been great for me because I wasn't ready to go to college.
I struggled with like what I wanted to do in life. I went into college like having like some passion for psychology and stuff. It's like, oh, that's really kind of cool, but it didn't really like grasp me. Like I didn't super love it. The thing that I was truly passionate about was just competing in general. Like I played soccer when I was young for like 9 years, and I loved competing, winning or losing. Losing just made me want to play more. Eventually I fell out of love with soccer. I mean, I still like the game, but I'm not as passionate about it as I used to be. But then I found esports, and I was just really good at a couple of games. I fell in love with them. I played them all the time, non-competitively. I was like, hey, I might as well see if I can compete in this and see how that works. And I mean, the competitive lifestyle is so much better than a casual lifestyle for me because I'm like the most competitive person I know. So, I mean, esports has definitely given me a direction in life, and I want to stick with it as long as I can.
So it sounds like you guys weren't necessarily turn 18, graduate from high school, go straight to college. And so that kind of helped your professional careers. Do you guys think that it is possible to kind of hold, now that you've been on both sides of it, it sounds like that being in college at 18, maintaining a professional or semi-pro presence in esports is possible while pursuing college?
I mean, I went to college right after high school and I've been playing. It's definitely possible. It's just, if you want to try hard enough, like, anything's possible. You just have to want it enough.
If you don't want a girlfriend or a social life, I mean, that's the honest answer. There's like 3 of them. Like you choose a social life, esports, and school. Like you choose 2.
Just wanted to ask, do your moms understand what you're doing? Like, do they watch? Do they understand the game? Or are they just on the sidelines cheering?
I've sat down with my mom and we've watched tournaments, and I've explained play by play what's happening, and she'll talk to me now like about what's going on. Ooh, they shouldn't have picked that character. I don't know how this is gonna work out. The only thing she really like, she understands the game really well. I mean, from a spectator perspective, obviously not to the level of like a pro player or like a collegiate player, but as a spectator, she knows a lot. The only thing she struggles with is this an early, mid-game, or late-game type map? That's all she asks. So I'm pretty sure she's sitting down with the Udall clan and just talking about our mistakes and our advantages the whole time. Like, oh, they shouldn't have done that. Oh, I hope they can come back. So she knows a lot. She's learned a lot too. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, I'd say my mom's very like rudimentary in her knowledge. She understands like taking a fort is good and like losing a fort is bad, but like that's basically it. So it's like whoever has more structure is winning, like whoever's a higher level is winning. That's like basically just very base level.
Yeah, same goes for my mom. She very basic understanding of the game. She's just kind of there on the sidelines cheering me on. Yeah. That's also the same for me.
Same.
Michael and Shot, you both took time off to pursue esports, right? Just the two of you, yeah? And now you're back in college. What made you decide to make that transition back into school?
I needed more balance in my life. So I did like my freshman year of college, and then at the end of it was the Heroes of the Dorm. So I took like the summer and that following semester off, and I was like doing streaming and playing professionally full time. So I was playing like 10 to like 14 hours of video games a day, and that's pretty much my whole life. Like that was all I was doing. And I'm a very like eclectic person, so I like need more things. Like that's what I realized is like if I want to be sustainable in esports, like if I don't want to burn out after like 6 months or a year, like I have to be doing multiple things. So that's the main reason I went to college, because like I very much enjoy learning, and I also needed the social aspect of like being able to get out of the house and like meet people and have like, yeah.
For me, I mean, a little bit of background. I got my GED right after my freshman year of high school. So I got my GED and started going to college for a couple of years. And then I took a break in order to pursue esports. I told my family, hey, can I take a year to see if this is worth it? And if it goes somewhere, can I continue? And they said, sure. They were really skeptical at first, but they were supportive about it anyway. But coming back into it, kind of like Michael, like it was my entire life. I just like played, woke up, took a shower, played video games all day. And it was really kind of affecting my mood. I wasn't as happy as I used to be. Like I loved doing it every hour of the day. I loved playing video games, but in general, I definitely think I needed something else in my life to like step away from the game, get my mind off of things, just have somewhat of a social presence with people, just to talk to other people that aren't gamers all the time. So I went back to school just mostly because it's something else to focus on, instead of just running numbers through my heads about, oh, we could draft this at this point, and first pick this, first pick that. It just helps with my mentality, I think, having a balance in my life.
So the casters like to point out often how confident you guys are and how aggressive you are in your attitude. Is there such a thing as having too much of an ego on
Yes.
stage? And how do you guys avoid that?
You definitely you want to be acting that way outside the game, but inside the game, it doesn't matter who you're playing, whether they're the best team in the world or a team you've never played against, or a bunch of new players that just it's their first game. When it's tournament setting, and that game loads in, you play your game, and you don't let your ego do anything. That's the ideal goal, obviously. So that's what you want to work towards.
I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again. We have played teams that we knew were drastically lower skill level than us, and we talked about it, oh, they're probably not as good as us, but when it comes to draft, we draft as hard as we can. We play as well as we can. Usually when you're playing against lower skill level players, you're kind of goofing off, and like if you're egotistical, you're really goofing off and not really focusing that much. But we haven't come across a single team that's been quote unquote lower tier than us. We've tried as hard as we can to get every advantage possible. Every single objective that we can take, we will take. We don't sleep on anybody. We're gonna try to beat them as hard as we can, and if they give us advantages, we're gonna take it. So, I mean, to answer the question, it's ego is like what Fam said, is out of the game. Our egos disappear when we're in game. It's just we're playing against the best team in the world when we're in game, and we try as hard as we can.
So, basically what you're saying is this is a bit of a persona or a mind game that you guys have adopted. Percentage-wise, or just how well do you think it works? Like, do you think it's given you a tangible edge, or is it just kind of fun?
I mean, I think it's given us a big edge. They UConn first band Illidan both times. Like, definitely that was something that we
Gave you the false edge.
yeah, it gave us the false side. Like, and I don't know, like,